Now in this class, I will discuss list, cloning and copy. So in last class, I discussed how to create list and how to traverse the list and what is list slicing and how to convert one data type into some another data type. There are different operations that we can apply on list. Similarly, there are certain methods that we can use. So we had seen all these in last class. In this class, I will discuss remaining part of list and especially the list cloning. So cloning is a process to make a copy of the list to modify it in future while keeping the original one. So cloning, it actually says you are taking a copy of the list and the original copy would not be disturbed. Only the copied list would be updated, right? So, and the original list, I want to keep it as it is. So, there are three ways of cloning. Creating reference using assignment operator that we call shallow copy. So, suppose there is a list L1. So, if I am applying L2 is equal to L1, let's say L1 is having 4, 5, 6. So, if I am applying L2 is equal to L1, so it is giving me a reference. So, L2 and L1 now point to same list. The another way is creating clone using slice operator. Again, this is shallow copy. And what is shallow copy? That I will discuss very soon. So, using the slice operator, let's say I am using L3 is equal to L1 and 1 colon 2. So, again this would create a copy. By taking a slice of the individual existing list, I am taking part of L1 list. Other way is using the copy method. So these are three different ways. The very first one is using assignment operator. Another one is using the slicing operator, and the third one is using the function copy function. And what is shallow copy actually? So the assignment statement creates a reference to an existing object, like in this case. So if you would update 7 in this case, let's say I am updating A2 as 44. So this would be reflected in B as well. If I am writing here B0 as 133. So this would be reflected in A as well, right? So this is the problem with assignment operator. It actually creates a reference. So whatever be updated in any list, so that would be reflected in another list as well, like in this case that we have seen. For working with mutable objects, anyone may be interested to create real copies or clones of these objects so that they can modify the clone without modifying the original at the same time. So, but we are interested in creating a clone of the original list so that the original list should not be disturbed if I am updating certain element in the copied list. But in this case, both the lists would be updated. Now, the another way is to use slice operator, right? Like in this case. So this is the slice operator. So although it copy the element, but what would happen if you are updating the nested nested sublist? So that would be reflected in the copied list as well. Suppose I am creating new list. In this case, new list has been created using the old list, right? So if you are updating, like in this case, if you are updating 1, 2, it means you are updating 15 with 9 in new list. So that would be reflected in old list as well. So if you update any value, nested value actually, in list or new list or old list, the changes are visible in both. But if you are updating this value in the old list, that would not be reflected in the new list. So that is the difference. Okay. So that is the difference between reference copy and using the slice operator. So essentially, it is required to have the original value unchanged and only modify the new values or vice versa. So again, using this option, using the slice operator, you cannot, you are not actually creating a clone. Why so? Because if you are updating nested sublist in the original list, that would be reflected in the copied list as well. Let me show this using the IDLE. Let me open the IDLE first. Let's say I am having list A is equal to 2, 3, 7, 9 and then 10. I am creating a copy here, B is equal to A, right? So it is actually creating a reference. Now I am updating B2 as 333. So now I am updating A2 as 333. Now you can observe A. So 33 has been updated at second position. Now if I will try to show you B, then again the value in B has also been updated. Similarly, if you would update element of list B, suppose I am updating the value that is present at 3, let's say it is 555. Then what is the value of B? So 5555 has been updated at third position, right? 0, 1, second and third. So it is the third index and fourth element, right? So if I would display A, so again it has been reflected in A as well. So it means if you are having, if you are taking a copy using assignment operator, so if any list is updated, the update would be reflected in another list as well. So this is not the case cloning actually, right? Let's say if I am creating a list, A is equal to 22, then 4, then I am creating one nested list, 34, 78, 90, and then 1, and then 1, 2, 4, right? So I have created a list having nested sublist. So individual element is having a list as well. Now if I would update, I'm taking a copy using the slice operator. Let's say B is equal to A using the slice operator. Now if I would update A 0, the element that is present at 0th index, let's say I am updating it with 999, right? Let me display A. So value has been updated here in this list. Let me display B. So you can observe here, B, in case of B, the value has not been updated, right? So if you are creating a copy using the slice operator, so if you are updating one list, so another list would not be reflected. But if you are updating the list, right, then if you are updating sub list, right, so in that case it would be reflected in another list. So let me show you how it is happening. I want to update this value. Suppose in A, I want to update this one. So what I would write here, I would write A1 and then A2, it is 2, right, second index, and then from second index 1th position, 1th index, I am updating it here. Let's say it is 555. Okay, let me show you A. So A, this value has been updated. Now what is the case with B? So if I would show you B, so let me print B. So in B it has been reflected also. So it means if you are creating a list using the slice operator, then only the sub list would be, if you are updating a sub list, like in this case I have updated the sub list, inner sub list, then the other list, there would be updation in another list as well. So I have updated value in A only, but it has been reflected in B as well. So it means although it is creating a copy, but the inner sublist is affected, right? If you are updating value in inner sublist, then it has been reflected in another list as well. So again, this is not the actual clue. So what should we do now? The another case is using the operator copy. So there is a, let me write, first let me open a new file, and I'm here writing import copy, and let's say my list is a is equal to 2, 3, 4, and let's say it is having 22, 77, 90, right, and then there is one more, let's say 34, and then one more 3, 6, 9, and then 11, right. So this is a list. So and now I can copy, I can use the function, there is a function copy and deep copy that I can apply. So let me come to the PPT first, then there I will discuss, and then I will again come to the ADLE. We have seen what is the shallow copy. Shallow copy, it means if you are updating some data in a list, so that would be reflected in another list as well. So a shallow copy construct a new compound object and then insert references into it to the object found in the original, right. So shallow copy would actually include the references. So it means if you are including the references, so if you are updating certain value in the list, so the other list would also be updated, since reference is being copied. In case of deep copy, a deep copy constructs a new compound object and then recursively insert copies into it. So instead of copying references, it is actually inserting the copies into it. Like in this case, if you want to apply deep copy, then we need to import this copy module, and you need to apply deep copy. So it will give you a deep copy of X. So and the copy has two different functions. One is copy. Again, it would create a shallow copy. So this copy would actually create the shallow copy, and this deep copy would create a deep copy, right? Then here is an example here that I will discuss using IDLE. Let me come to the IDLE first. Now I have created a list A, and I am writing here B is equal to copy dot deep copy and then A, right. Sorry, not copyright, it's copy dot deep copy A, and then I am updating, let's say I am updating A and 0, 1, 2, 3 and 0th position. So let's say I am updating 999, right. So I am trying to update this value, right, with 999. So I am updating in list A. Let's say if it is reflected in B also, it is reflected in B or not, right. So let me print A and then print B, right. So I am trying to print list A and B, and let's see what happens. So this would be reflected in A, but it won't reflected in B because I am taking deep copy. Let me run this one. And desktop, yes. So you can observe here, right. like in this case. So it has been reflected in A since I have updated this element, but it has not been affected in list B because I have created a deep copy. So if you want to actually take a deep copy it means you want to take a separate copy, and that copy and the original one should not be reflected, it should not be disturbed. So you need to use deep copy, otherwise all will create a shallow copy. Let me execute this one. Suppose instead of deep copy, if I am using copy only, right? If I am using copy, and let's say the difference between deep copy and shallow copy. Now you can observe both list has been updated, right? So this is the shallow copy actually, since I have updated this one and it has been reflected in another list as well. So in this way, you can observe the difference between shallow copy and deep copy. So we have seen 3 different ways of copying. The very first one was using the assignment operator, that again it would create a shallow copy, and the another one was using slice operator. So this would again create shallow copy. Now the third one is using the copy module. In copy module, you are having 2 different functions: copy and deep copy. So copy copy method would create shallow copy, and deep copy would create actual clone, right? So in this way, you can apply all these. You can explore more on shallow copy and deep copy. Now we will discuss certain questions here as far as list is concerned. So suppose you have been given a list containing strings and integers, right? Write a program to create 2 separate lists consisting of strings and integer respectively, right? So in list, as we had discussed, list can contain different type of data like string, integer, float. So heterogeneous type of data can be part of list. Now the task is, suppose you are having separate data, it means individual element is having different type of data actually, whether it is string or integer. So your task is to separate integers and string into 2 different lists, right? And the second question is, write Python program to sort words in alphabetic order, right? So you have to separate sort the words. Let's say you have entered New Delhi, right? Or let's say I am studying using SWAYAM portal. So there are several words in this statement. So you have to sort these words, right? Let me discuss the very first question. This particular, I am trying to solve this particular question. Let me open IDLE. So suppose I am having list as A is equal to then Aligarh, then 34. I am discussing the very first question in which my list is having integer as well as string, and I need to separate. I need to create 2 separate lists having integer and another having strings separately, right? So 77, then 90. Suppose Delhi. So this is my list. Now I will read individual element for I in A, right? And then I have seen I have discussed one function that is instance. So is instance actually check whether an object is integer or string or float and so on. So I will apply is instance sorry if instance object is I and str string, then I am creating 2 lists here. One is for string L underscore string empty list, and then L underscore integer having empty list. So what I will do here as L underscore s dot append I, right? I will try to append this value, and if is instance I comma int, then I will add L underscore I dot append I, right. So my task is to create two separate lists, right? Yes, and then okay, and I will print here, print L underscore S and then print L underscore I, right. Let me run this one. So you can observe here, it has created two separate lists. One is having a string only and the one is having integer only. So in this way you can apply. Similarly, you can solve another question as well. So the other question was to sort words in a given list, in a given sentence. So first you need to, what you need to do, you need to split the string, the sentence into different words. So I have already discussed a split function. There is a split method. So split method actually split your the string on the basis of the split character, and in our case the split character would be the space. So it would split the whole sentence into different words, and then you can apply and this split words is actually would be stored in list. Automatically split function would store the data into the list. Now you can apply sort function to sort those words. So in this way you can apply, and you can have use these functions to solve these problems. So I'm stopping here. Let me come to the slide. So I discussed these questions here, and I have included solution as well of the very first problem. There are certain more exercises here that you need to solve, and so to summarize what we have seen, we have seen how to create list variable and how to access list. We have seen list slicing as well, operations and functions of list, and we discussed list cloning and copy as well. So we discussed all these in as far as list is concerned. So thank you so much. We'll meet again in next class.